Welcome into SportsZone. I'm your host, Josh Conrad. We have a jam-packed show for you today, including the NBA's opening night. We talk MLB playoffs, and we will hit the ice to talk Dallas Stars. But first, the most important story of the weekend has to be North Texas securing the biggest win in Apogee's 7-year history on a magical final drive, 98 yards in 1 minute, 7 seconds with no timeouts, which resulted in Mason Fine sacrificing his entire body to get the throw off to Rico Bussey as North Texas pulls off the most important win of the Seth Luttrell era. Here's a look at that magical final play.
Here comes pressure. Fine got hit, throws it and it's caught. Bussey Jr. has space to the 10-yard line, and he's going to take it into the end zone. North Texas scores with 10 seconds left to take the lead.
Man, I'm still hyped after that play. With that, we welcome in Kennedy D. Miller and Kyle Yeomans to the desk. Now, guys, this final drive, I was screaming like a little girl. People were running away from me because I was hugging too many people. But, Kyle, I want you to talk to me right now. Let's put this win into words. Tell me what this does for North Texas going forward into this year.
Well, I'll put it into a couple words for you. First off, how about improbable? ESPN had North Texas's win percentage at 1.7% at the start of that final drive. It was going to be just a feat to even make it close. Well, they did it, and how about unbelievable? Just the fact that they were able to score with those 10 seconds remaining in the play to Rico Bussey. But the most important word that I'm going to tell you real fast is relieving. This is a game with so much build-up around the program heading into it, a UTSA team coming into your stadium and a chance to really separate yourself in the Conference USA West, and they almost let that slip through their fingertips, figuratively and literally as well. But at the same time, I mean, North Texas coming out with this win kind of proves that Seth Luttrell is starting to kind of turn the corner a little bit with this program, and New Denton is here to stay.
And it's obviously big anytime you can beat an in-state conference opponent. Kennedy, what does this win mean for you?
Well, I'm going to take another R word. I'm going to say relentless. These guys, these past couple of weeks, have had tough tests. They've gone up against UAB, who came back on them, and they pulled it out with your guy kicking the field goal to win the game. And then Southern Miss, they were down early, and they took a shot in the mouth, and they came back. Against this UTSA team, they were up 13-0 early. They got down, and it looked like they might lose the game. Fans started leaving, kind of reminiscent of the Miami Heat game 6
don't
against
stop.
your San Antonio Spurs.
B block, okay?
That didn't happen.
And so you see fans leaving the stadium, and it can kind of deflate you. And so me and you talked about it, Kyle. Yeah. They still had 3 timeouts left when UTSA had the ball. And so I'm thinking if you can stop them from getting a first down, you can put yourself in position. You'll have little over a minute left to drive down the field and score a touchdown. Now, they got the ball at their 2-yard line. And so that kind of rolls into your improbable, where it's only it doesn't seem like it can happen. And so I'm thinking maybe if they can just complete a couple of passes, get out of bounds, and they got one long pass which set up the pass to Rico Bussey, and thanks to him for staying in bounds and straddling that sideline to score the touchdown, because who knows if it had been a runoff, had he stayed in bounds, we would have ended up losing the game. Yep.
And amazing to start 3-0 in conference play, realistic shots at a conference title. We look at this Florida-Atlanta game, Kyle. Give me some sort of a preview going into this FAU game.
Well, you talk about North Texas and being realistically in the title hunt. This is going to be a big test. This is a team that's 3-0 in conference. Now you go on the road and you take on a team that a lot of people think is the best team in the Conference USA in Lane Kiffin's Florida Atlantic Owls. You go on the road, if you can come out with either a win or even just a close game, it shows that you are also a legitimate contender in trying to pull out this title. I think North Texas is going to have a tough time in terms of stopping FAU, but I also think FAU is going to have a tough time stopping North Texas. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, and I think North Texas could potentially come out on top, but it's going to be a fun and really tough game for this North Texas squad.
Kennedy, your thoughts on the FAU?
I totally believe Lane Kiffin has turned around this FAU team. To your point, Kyle, they are proficient in running the ball. They average 258 yards per game just on the ground. Their quarterback can run it. Their running back is a very good running back. However, they also give up 225 yards defending the run. And so Jeffrey Wilson, this will be the game where you can get 230, 250, light up this FAU team, and that will give us the best chance to beat them.
Kennedy read Webster's before the
show.
He's using some big words over here.
I try.
We'll transition from North Texas Conference USA a little bit back to the national scene. There were some big games this weekend, the biggest of which might have been that Red River rivalry where Oklahoma edged out a close win against Texas.
Yeah, I see you're wearing your crimson and your white on the show today.
That was a mistake. A close win. Now Baker Mayfield, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick, should have had 2. Is Oklahoma as a one-loss team, are they back in this national title race, in the playoff race?
Well, I don't think this Texas win helped or hurt their chances in any way. I think right now they are the team in the Big 12 to beat. And so I think a lot of dominoes will have to fall in other conferences, Big 10, SEC, Pac-12 as well, for them to be considered one of the top 4 teams to be put in the playoffs.
I think overall this Oklahoma team is not out of it yet. I don't think they're out of the playoff hunt just yet, but at the same time, I don't think they're very good. I think they're a team that was down in the boat race at Baylor whenever both teams scored over 40 points in Waco. This is a team that lost to Iowa State and struggled with Texas. I think the secondary is not very good, just to be flat and honest with it. I don't think OU defensively is nearly as strong as maybe an Oklahoma State or a TCU needing to be. Those two are the 2 teams to beat in the Big 12 conference. I think OU's just kind of lacking behind.
All right, guys, and we are middle of October right now. Really quick, give me a little bit of a Heisman pick. There hasn't really been a clear-cut contender so far, but give me your Heisman pick so far for the year.
Oh, it's clear-cut to me. I'm rolling with Mr. Saquon Barkley. I witnessed this man jump over somebody and keep his balance. He's the best player in the country. He's averaging 217 all-purpose yards per game. This guy can do everything you want out of a running back. He can run, he can receive, he can pass block, he even returns kicks. And so I think this guy will be a top 3 draft pick. I think he's the best player in the country.
Kyle, give me a really quick Heisman pick. 2 words.
Definitely Saquon Barkley.
You guys are missing out. Bradley Chubb is on ESPN's Heismantology, D-end out of NC State.
He doesn't average 100 yards rushing per game and 50 yards receiving, though, like Barkley can. Only player in the FBS to do that.
You guys are sleeping on him. But up next, we will talk about why the NBA's opening night may have already knocked one team out of title contention. We discuss here next on SportsZone.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's good? What's up? What's happening today? Let's do those pearly whites, man. Yeah. The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my chair is gonna compare us. Go.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine. Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy.